Hi there, Catherine here, and I have my very first cut and collage book. I'm so excited. I have been making scrapbooks and scrapbook paper for about 3 years, and I'm now branching out into different types of books. And this is my first cut and collage. And I made it of a circus because I just love the circus. I love the colors and the excitement of it, and I especially love vintage circus. So I created this really fun cut and collage book. Artful Authoring is actually my LLC, my business for these books, and I publish under my name, Catherine Lynn Pettit. I also have some fiction books out, and that's where I came up with the Artful Authoring name. And so with this particular one, I actually wrote like a cute little, just a tiny little story to go with it. This is my author proof, so yours will not come with that strip, obviously. But let's dive in. What we're going to do for this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick flip through of the pages, and then we'll make a fun project. So let's get started. And we start out with This Book Belongs To. And on this side, I will have seamless patterns. And you can either, like if you don't want to use what's on this side, you can use the seamless patterns, or otherwise it just gives you something pretty to look at as you're flipping through. With this, I made, with my little story, we have Under the Dazzling Glow of 1,000 Lights, a circus and its performers came alive, weaving magic into the night. And I have a drop cap here. So with these drop caps, you could use those letters as well. And we've got our circus off to a good start here. And I try not to make my clowns too scary. I know some people don't like scary clowns. All right, and then we have some more of our circus, and our story goes on. I just love the horses. We've got a ticket and we've got a trunk because this is a traveling circus. It's a vintage traveling circus, which we also have a train that they would be riding on. And here comes Trouble. So we have red-headed Trouble. And then as our story goes on, we talk about the other people in the circus. You've got little things here to cut out and use for your junk journals or scrapbooking, whichever way you want to go. I tried to make them nice and bright and colorful. We have tiny little pieces in there to accent. Now comes the lovely one. So we have Celeste Rose enters the scene of the circus. And I love the fortune-telling part of the circus. I love this fire breather. More of our circus people in the trunk. Now this was so much fun. So we've got our bodies here in their circus outfits, and then you can switch which heads you might want to put on them. We have little animal heads, so that was a ton of fun. And these are fun to play with. We have various legs and arms. And then we have our true romance. Sweet little pinks and blues. And then they have their children. And these actually fit. I designed these to be able to fit in that little performance area there, like a little platform stage. More of our traveling circus and our performers. And then, of course, what's a circus without snacks? So we do have our snacks. And then we have our contortionist, and they have a platform to perform on. We have some tarot cards. And then we have our backgrounds. So these various backgrounds, you can put your different images on. I think that's probably what I'm going to do as we work on our project today is cut out a few things. And then, oh, this would be cool to kind of like put them within the curtain. I don't know. We'll play around with it and see how we want to do that. But you've got all these lovely backgrounds to put your images on, or you can use them in whatever other projects you are doing. This particular one was, I live in North Carolina, and this was not published, but printed in Columbia, South Carolina. And I find they usually do a good job. The papers are nice and smooth, but they're not shiny. And that's one of my favorite things. All right, so I will come back with my supplies and we'll get busy. I'm back with the needed supplies, and I like to, with these books, I like to take a heating tool, or you could use a blow dryer, and heat the spine so that we can loosen up the glue before we start cutting them out. And then I do use my craft knife. This is what I use. In fact, I'm thinking I might need a new blade. It's not cutting as sharp as it used to, but I use my craft knife to cut the pages out. And then we have our larger scissors, and then our fussy cut scissors, and some type of glue. Like I love this glitter glue because it never warps the page when you put it on. But I know some people use glue sticks, and I do have glue sticks. We might play with that too. And then I use a roller to line up when I cut them out, and hopefully yours doesn't have kitten chew marks on them. The cats, you know, they're both grown now, but our little female had, when she was a kitten, chewed it. Fortunately, she's okay. She's perfectly fine, but yeah, that was not fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use the heating tool. I won't torture you through watching the whole thing. We can speed it up. But I start out, this is just the way I do it. I don't know if it really makes a difference, but I start out around the middle, and I go ahead and, you know, try to open the spine a little bit. We're going to be cutting them out, so we don't have to worry about keeping the book and the spine intact. So I just go ahead and start heating, and then I flip through the pages and heat more. And like I said, I'll go ahead and get started and then speed it up. Well, you know, it sometimes helps if you plug the heating tool in first. Right back. And we have juice. We are down to just a few pages in the back that didn't want to come out as easily, but that's good because now I can show you what I do with my craft knife. So all of these came out, and we'll go ahead and set these aside. And then for the ones that were a little bit glued tighter as we got toward the back, I'm going to go ahead. What I do normally is I go ahead and lay down my, roller's going to stick to the glue. Lay down my roller. And then that's my guide to go ahead and cut out using my craft knife. Let's see if we can do this upside down. I'm not sure if I can or not. And so you would just go along, and yeah, that kind of happens to my roller too. Another reason it's split a little bit. I try to keep enough of a margin. Oh boy, I cut that too deep. Enough of a margin so that I can cut these out without losing much. But when it comes to the full sheets, the background pages, that's not quite the case. There we go. So that should help. But this is how I take them out if they don't come out on their own. And I'm going to keep playing with this. Those are just being stubborn here in the back. I might need to add more heat. So for time's sake, I'm going to select a few of these images. They're all out of order now, which is no worries at all. Now with my other books that I make, I also make junk journal pages in ephemera, and they are set to go in order, so you do want to keep those in order. But I really like these. I might cut out some of these. I'm not sure yet, but I will cut these out off camera and then come back to show you how we're going to put them together. And I am definitely going to do some of our little paper dolls with the different heads. All right. I will fussy cut off screen and then come back with what I've got. And we'll put it together. We have our fussy cut items now, and I don't know about you, but I like to ink them up. So for this particular scene, I have two different scenes here that I did, but for this one, I went with the Distressed Vintage Photo ink from Ranger, and I like to use these little daubers because they're really cheap and you can use them over and over and over again. Anyway, so I'll show you how I inked everything but one piece because I just wanted to show you how I go ahead and ink them up a little bit. And that also helps, depending on how detailed you get in with your fussy cut, you can get rid of some of that white with your inking. So I like to do that. And popcorn happens to be one of my favorite circus and movie treats. With this particular scene, I did two different backgrounds. With this background, I went with the travel theme. So I have another train here. I have our trunk. Gosh, the word wasn't coming to me. I have our trunk here. And I wanted you to notice in the book, there is a trunk that doesn't have anything inside of it. It's open and doesn't have anything inside, so you can put things in there if you want to. Okay, and then so we have our popcorn here. And this is Celeste Rose coming to town. And then we got our train and our little trunk. And you can put, you know, your personal photos on here, journaling, things like that. So we'll go ahead and glue these down. Like I said, I like to use my glitter glue, but I've also got some UHU glue stick, and then sometimes I use this. The good thing about the scrapbooking tape like this, the adhesive, this particular type is removable. So if you put it down and you don't like where it is, you can move it. But I'll just go ahead. And if you all have, like, you know, you get the glitter glue and you put it in its own container, I have to remember to always, before I lay this down, go ahead and cover it up. It clogs so easily. Speaking of which, I hope it's not clogged from the last time I used it. No, it's not. So we'll just go ahead and glue these little pieces down. Had that kind of there. But you know, you can use these cutouts on cards or your own glue books or your journals, however you like to use them. Sometimes I do it that way. Sometimes I just like to put them on a background. I'm probably off screen here. I get talking and get preoccupied. And then for this is that one of the drop caps, and this is the A, obviously, but I cut that out, and then the word journeyed with ED on the end was in that little story, and I cut the ED off, so we have a journey here. And then our trunk and Celeste, let's go ahead and glue these down. You can just go there. I want to still see enough of that train. Get our popcorn glued down. And then I'll probably take a picture of my son and I when we go to the movies and maybe put that on here. Okay, I'm just going to glue this down. That's what's fun, is you can use parts of the story in your crafting. All right, a journey. So we got one on its background, and then this one, like I said, I really love how that curtain was parted. I've already inked these up. I used purple ink for these because that just kind of blends a little bit better. The one thing I did want to show you was when you end up with scraps, because I cut out some of the pieces, and I ended up with these scraps. What I like to do is go ahead and cut these into thin strips. And you might want it even thinner than this, but I'm just going fast to demonstrate. So this then can be used as washi tape. So you would have something you want to tape to act like it's taped down. We'd want it even smaller than that. So you would just take that, like the washi tape, like you have a little piece of washi tape to adhere that down. And I won't torture you through watching me glue all these down, but I thought this arrangement, I like her down here. So there's one of our headless people. And then I gave her this little rooster or bird. You kind of like, it wouldn't be a rooster, it's a female. So our little bird here, little hen, on her. And then, that's like our little tape we were saying. And I thought I'd have her carrying, she could carry the flower, or even better yet, she could carry the cotton candy. So this was just so much fun. It was so much fun creating this book, and that little monkey cute, and then creating these layouts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back with more because I have so many more books coming out. This has been so much fun. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.